Hey y'all, hope you're having a good day. I'm gonna get started with a riddle today. Here we go. There was a man who went to Maine and saw some people and drew his cane. And in this riddle, I've said his name. Do you know the man's name? I'll say it one more time, then you can pause the video if you don't want the answer. There was a man who went to Maine and saw some people and drew his cane. And in this riddle, I've said his name. Do you know his name? And the answer is Andrew. There was a man who went to Maine and saw some people and drew. His name was Andrew. All right, we're gonna get started with multiples today. What is a multiple? Does anyone know what a multiple is? The best way that I can describe a multiple to you is that it is a product. It's an answer. Okay? So when we did factors, there were a few, not an infinite number. When we're going to do multiples, they are going to go on forever. So if you think back to factors, it was factor times factor equals product. Or we basically could say factor times factor equals a multiple, because a multiple is a product. All right, so let's get started. List the multiples of 4. A multiple of 4 is any number times 4, the answer you get. So for example, 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4, 8. 3 times 4, 4 times 4, 5 times 4, 6 times 4. We're just counting by 4s. How far do they go? They go to infinity. So kids always say, how many do I list? You'll see as we get into the least common multiple today, you list as many as you need to find a common one. But if you're just listing the multiples of 4, I'm good with you just listing out, 10 of them, all right? List the multiples of 9. So we'd have 9 times 1, 9 times 2, 9 times 3, 9 times 4, 9 times 5, 9 times 6, 9 times 7, 9 times 8, and so forth, all the way to infinity. Those are the multiples, the answers, the products, all right? So for the next one, with factors we found the GCF. With multiples, we're going to try to find something called the LCM, which stands for the lowest common multiple. Think about this. If multiples go forever, you can't find the greatest common multiple because nobody knows how high numbers go. We couldn't find the least common factor because that would have always been 1. So for multiples, we're going to find the lowest common multiple. So this is actually pretty easy. It says find the LCM for 4 and 6. So I'm going to start listing my multiples of 4. And I don't need to go too far here. And I start listing my multiples of 6. Aha! My LCM here would equal 12 because I'm looking for common, means alike. Lowest is the first one in common, and that's it. Okay? Use a little different color here. Hopefully it shows up maybe a little bit better. I can tell that's a little hard to see. All right, let's do some more. Find the least common multiple for 5 and 6. So I'm going to list out my multiples. 5, 10, 15, 20, 6, 12, 18, 24. I still haven't found one in common, so I keep my list going. I keep my list for 5 going. I keep my list for 6 going until I find one in common. And I'm totally fine with you just circling the answer. The lowest common multiple there is 30. Again, we can't find the biggest common multiple because they go on forever. We can't find, we can find the lowest one, the first one in common. Now it says for the next one, find the least common multiple for 8 and 12. So you're going to list multiples of 8. And you're going to start listing some multiples of 12. Again, 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4, 12 times 1, 12 times 2. And we find it. And the LCM equals 24. Up here the LCM was 30. Like I said up there, I'm fine with you just circling it, or you can rewrite it. Multiples are just counting by the number. They're the products. Okay, So when we were doing the GCF, we were always looking for the greatest or the largest, because that's what it is, in story problems. With multiples, we're looking for words like every and again that show repetition. So if Jake has lacrosse every 3 days and football every 5 days, if he has them both today, how many days before he has them both again? So every and again, that tells me right away I am going to be doing the least common multiple. So if Jake had football and lacrosse today, okay, he is going to have football every 4 days, and in 4 more days he'll have it, and 4 more days he'll have it, and 4 more days he'll have it, and so forth. Lacrosse is every 3 days. So when I start listing these out, I end up seeing that my lowest common multiple is 12, and my answer here would be that Jake would have them both again, repetition word, in 12 days. So let's practice this a little further. Maya watches her cousin every 6 days. She also babysits her neighbor's kid every 8 days. If she babysat both of them today, how many days before she watches them both again on the same day? The keyword both tells you you're looking for something in common. Every and again tells us that we're looking for something with repetition. So I'm going to list my multiples. And when I do this, I find the first one or the lowest one in common is 24 days. Okay? Now, for your homework tonight, you are going to work on page 154, numbers 7 through 22, and then also 23. You need to make sure you show your work. So pause the video and then get out a sheet of paper and a pencil and your books, and then I'll get you started on this. Okay, so for number 7, it says find the LCM for each set of numbers. I want you to do it like this. This is what I should see. A 4 and a 10. And I should see you counting by 4s. And I should see you counting by 10s. And I'm okay with you writing it like this, or I'm just okay with you circling it. You do not have to do both, but I want to see the list. I don't want to see just the answer. If you look at number 8, multiples of 3, multiples of 4, 3, 6, 9, 12, 4, 8, 12. I want to see the list. That is mandatory for you showing your work, okay? Your homework is there. I gave you a few examples. Actually, number 23 is on page 155 as I look at this. So I had a slight error there. Show your work. Do your best. As long as you tried every problem and show your work, you will get a 5 out of 5. So hopefully you did well and understand this. If you need help, let me know. Mr. E, out.